Mr. Barron.
Thank you very much. On the bill, I just wanted to say it's very difficult listening to this stuff. This is simple. You cannot deny climate change, and you cannot deny that women make 80 cents on a dollar, white women. Black women make 63 cents on a dollar. Latino women make 54 cents on a dollar for the same work. You talk about the Women's Basketball League, it is not an analogy that works. It breaks down. They play 34 games. The men's basketball play 86 games. 86 to 86, 82, 84, twice as much. That's not equal work. I know you think it's such a great analogy that you make every year, but it makes 0 sense. You talk about fast food workers, so uneducated, they're making $15 an hour. How does the fat cats sitting on their behinds in their offices who make billions off these little workers that they give a minimum wage that they don't even want to pay? It's called surplus labor. Their labor, these uneducated people that he speaks of, their labor pulls in billions. Well, how uneducated can they be to bring in billions of dollars for their labor, but yet these others who don't bust a sweat or flip a hamburger sit in their offices and do nothing, and they make millions. They're millionaires, and half of them ain't uneducated. They don't know what to do. They only know how to make money, and they only know how to exploit labor. So don't sit here and act like this problem doesn't exist. If you listen to this stuff sometimes, y'all got to be saying, what is he talking about? It is really not that complex. It is simple. This discrimination exists.
Mr. Murray, why do you rise?
Mr. Barron, yield for a question?
Mr. Barron, do you?
Of course not.
Mr. Barron does not yield, sir.
Sit down. No. I don't do that. No. I'll be finished in a minute. This bill makes sense. These rebuttals make no sense. And we should go ahead and vote on this bill so we can leave here this evening and not have to go through this technological deflecting nonsense from a very simplistic problem with a reasonable bill. I congratulate you on your bill. I'll be voting in the affirmative.
Mr. Murray for a second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the bill.
On the bill, Mr. Murray.
For those that don't know, there are these things called franchisees. They're actually our neighbors. They're not millionaires. They're not billionaires. They're actually small business owners, like the person down in the McDonald's that many of us go to downstairs every single day. Those are franchisees. They have busted their tail. In fact, the owners of that particular McDonald's, the owner there started on the front line, flipping burgers at a McDonald's. He and his wife then took all of their savings and invested. And they bought their first, then a second, and they have a couple now. And yet they could be put out of business by the minimum wage increase that was so brilliantly exercised by the Department of Labor. Something else to consider when certain folks were reading off facts and statistics. We started this debate, actually we started today around 3 o'clock, so about 2 hours ago, and it started with one of the resolutions where one of our colleagues on the side of the aisle quoted that women make 77 cents on the dollar. A short time later, another colleague said women make 80 cents on the dollar in New York State. And then another colleague said 89 cents on a dollar here in New York State. So what the heck? I'll throw my own in there. Recent study by the Institute for Women's Policy Research that found that the state's female millennials, those who became adults around the year 2000, earned $1.02 for every dollar earned by a male. We can do studies and everything all day long, and we can call the comparisons ridiculous when we don't understand them because we've never actually run a business. But some people here have run a business. They do understand that it takes hard work and sweat to get to that point. And your employees are like family, especially when you're a small business. And small businesses, by the way, make up about 90% of the businesses in the state of New York. We keep saying that, oh, that's the way we do it here. Well, did you notice in the past decade that not only people, but businesses are fleeing New York at a record pace? By the way, when they flee, they take the jobs with them. So are we really helping when we're pushing businesses out of the state and pushing the jobs out of the state? Are we really helping the next generation? I don't think so. I think maybe before we speak, we need to think a little bit more. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.